The Witcher Season 1 Episode 7 titled Before a Fall. And this episode being the second last episode of the season, I will say this, it's one of those episodes where you go, oh, now I get it. Because you weren't lied to thinking, okay, like one of the criticisms I had with this show that I haven't mentioned, that I couldn't understand, like, where's the time frame. We keep jumping back and forth. It's day, it's night, but it's day here, but it's night over there, and all that kind of stuff. And you realize that Gwerion, all the scenes dealing with him, all the scenes that are dealing with Jennifer, are prequel. It is set before the castle got destroyed. And I was like it could have been easily like, you are so daft, obviously it was this and this. But now I'm like, but when they mentioned 12 years, when we see replays footage from episode 1, it got me as like, okay, so all the stuff doing with the princess is set, quote unquote, in present day. And I'm like, okay. So all the events that happen, I kind of, now everything kind of makes a little bit more sense. I kind of wish that the princess story was a little bit more interesting, a little bit more developed than her just going through forest. I mean, seriously, she's just going through a forest. But this is an episode that is all about setting up the finale, setting up the final episode of the season. You know, this is an episode that has Graham in the beginning of the episode and at the end of the episode, because you're finding out now the motivations is simply the army is doing the whole thing of, you know, the sword to create a new world, we must destroy the old world, and the only way to destroy that old world is by basically burning and then killing everyone who's part of that old world. And that's when you're like, okay, like, it's one of those episodes where you're like, okay, now everything's now piecing all together. It all comes down to the execution and how does the final episode of the season, episode 8, how does that wrap things up, at least for this story? And maybe, you know, knowing there's a season 2, maybe they'll cliffhanger and do a bit of a cliffhanger. But this, let's see how it all comes down to the execution of episode 8.